Hello, you again. Welcome to the Medicine Show. In this video, it's helpful if you work to try to separate yourself from your life experience. That is, all the things that are occurring around you. Try to place yourself in your own shoes and think about the question, what would I do if I were me? It is known to me that before one has any chance of grasping natural law, then it's important that, from a general sense, folks understand what natural law is, why natural law is that way, and the true source of natural law. It is also important and useful for you, the viewer, to have seen the previous Medicine Show videos because I introduce new concepts that are based on concepts found in those videos. And if you do not have a decent grasp of those concepts, then you could get lost in this one pretty quick. So let's start at the beginning, but understand that the whole concept of a beginning or an end is itself an illusion. So out in eternity, there is a single consciousness that I will refer to as the word on. If you do not know why I use the word on, then it just proves that you have not been listening and did not watch the videos before. Now this consciousness, on, exists in eternity. Eternity is infinite, meaning that it has no beginning and has no end. For our understanding, because we are here, where we have time, and we have trouble understanding that which has no beginning and has no end, I will use the word beginning to indicate the beginning of the discussion. On, a being in eternity, has no beginning and has no end. On is singular, the only one in eternity, just like it feels to be you. I cannot know if there are other entities or other beings like On, but in On's eternity, On is alone. On has no body, no arms and legs, and no eyes. Even if On had a body, arms, legs, and eyes, there's not much to see in eternity, and no place to go anyway. On has a mind, or perhaps rather is a mind, and that mind is capable of limitless thought and reason of limitless complexity. So in eternity, On is left to contemplate, who am I? In eternity, there may be no mirrors. On may not be able to hold the mirror, or see the reflection anyway, or see the mirror itself, even if it were there. On may not even see outside of On's own mind. These questions cannot be known to us here. So On uses the mind to explore On and On's own nature. How did On solve the problem? He thought up a new concept called the universe. This universe occurred with new properties like time, space, and forces in balanced equilibrium. Time, space, and force all adhered to specific rules and had specific structure that is divided into infinity on the small scale and infinity on the large scale. It is also divided in infinite layers according to particular frequencies that do not even need to interact with one another. The universe, we observe, is limited for us by what we can measure. But there is no end to this tool that On uses to explore its On's own. Now all these principles, structures, and forces, how they are related, how they are unrelated, how they interact, how they do not interact, when they relate, when they do not relate, when they interact, when they do not interact, or what, how, when, and most importantly why, are all what we know of as natural law. The why is the most important, because the why exposes the reason for everything that occurs. That reason is the nature of On, and exploring the nature of On is On's own purpose or intent in the first place. On now has a tool to conduct that exploration, and the options are limitless. So in our neighborhood, natural law produced a planet, and some very complex structures of thought that we call life. On observes On's creation, because after all things are On's consciousness, because it's all part of On's mental construct or thoughts in the mind of On. On created beings in thought that are themselves conscious of their own environment within the thought construct. They are all part of On's consciousness, but because they look out using senses of the body in the universe, that body appears as a separate structure. The body is not provided senses to sense On, so it appears as if that part of On's consciousness is separate. That individuation is important, as each being is a reflection of On, and each experiences the universe from its own unique perspective. In reality, the beings are all On, existing in an illusion that they are separate, because from their perspective, they cannot sense or measure it any other way. The experience appears to each creature in complete privacy, as that is one of the principles On applied, so On could, with a degree of virtual objectivity, explore On's own nature. It also allows On to experience what it's like to have a beginning and an end. That is profoundly different from eternity, so birth, life, and death are subjects of much exploration. So the universe, according to natural law, produced a whole lot of beings that we call us. Each one of us is different and unique, and we are all experiencing those events that On uses to explore On's own nature. On explores a limitless number of differences, and some of those differences create new and unique challenges that make the experiences special. Some of the concepts explored include love, hate, war, justice, crime, suffering, and joy. Today, we exist with little knowledge of natural law, and so we have a tough time even realizing that On is there. That ignorance of the law causes suffering and pain. Often, we do not know something until that something is taken away. We really know joy when all we have is suffering, and it is finally returned to us. Joy, then, has much more value to us when it finally returns. We are gaining an appreciation for joy, freedom, love, peace, and justice because right now there is little of that around. We are learning by experiencing the opposite, that is, suffering, enslavement, hate, war, and injustice. The way to return to a more comfortable experience is by taking responsibility, rediscovering the natural law within us, and reconnecting to the mind of On. When we do this, we know the law and can avoid those actions that cause suffering, enslavement, hate, war, and injustice. You cannot know justice and be ignorant of natural law. Knowledge of natural law reveals the reasons events occur and the purpose, and that allows us to be in places that do not lead to suffering. We then respond in ways that do not create suffering and enjoy abundance because we are in the right place at the right time. Otherwise, one experiences life where one believes that luck, chance, and accident is what dominates the life experience. This is why this body speaking is made to teach natural law, because enough suffering has occurred such that we can really appreciate joy. Little by little, people are learning the law and experiencing their lives in new, fun, and wonderful ways. As more people learn natural law, then we will all appreciate the wonderful way the universe allows us to explore and experience our nature. Today, most people believe in something other than natural law called colorable law. The word colorable means fiction, false, or not true. What we are experiencing is what it's like when we replace natural law with colorable law. Colorable law says that the creature, or man, is what commands law, and it is based on the idiotic notion called the theory of legal positivism. All it is a lie we choose to believe, to create lots of uncomfortable fun. Colorable Law is no different than children in a playground, pretending that the ground is hot lava. I'm the kid who's standing on the ground trying to tell the other kids that my feet are not burning. Today, we play that game so much we react and respond to things using game rules or colorable law instead of natural law. And that is why we are making so many mistakes and we are causing so much suffering. We are not children. We need to grow up and be responsible. Now, if you want to believe in fiction, go right ahead. It is exactly why stupid idiots get the living crap knocked out of them. I, for one, really do appreciate their sacrifice. You see, I'm just waiting for folks to stop playing this stupid game. See you in a bit. As always, thank you for being me.